Everybody, it's Miss Beck. Hope y'all are doing okay today. Today we're going to do two new nursery rhymes. The first one is called Hickory Dickory Dock. So in our story, we are going to see a clock. What does a clock do? That's right, a clock tells time. Now I want you to take a moment and look around your home or your classroom and see if you see any clocks. Now the clock you might see in your home or your classroom is a lot different than the clock we're going to look at, because the clock we're going to look at is called a grandfather clock. And this grandfather clock is going to strike. The clock struck. Do you have any kind of idea what the word struck meant? The word struck means to hit, like I struck a baseball, or I struck somebody with my hand. I wouldn't want to do that. But clocks strike, that's all right. All right, so let's take a look here at our grandfather clock. And as you can see, that's an old-timey clock, and it has several different parts. It has the circle part at the top, which shows you the numbers, and it has the hands for telling time. And then it also has a chime. The chime is the thing that strikes that you can hear. So when it says the clock struck 1, the chime is the thing that's striking. So you might ask your parent or whoever's working with you if they know of somewhere where a grandfather clock is still, because a lot of grandmas and grandpas may keep that kind of stuff around. So we're going to read a nursery rhyme today about a mouse and a clock. And I want you to listen carefully for who is the main character. Now, in my class yesterday, we were talking about character, and we were talking about the little girl who was looking out the window in Starlight, Star Bright. And one of my friends said, well, I think the star is a character. But I had to remind that friend that characters are people or animals in the story. So the star could not actually be a character because it's not a person and it's not an animal. So while we're reading, I want you to think about who the character is. And we're going to identify that as the main character. Now, when I say main character, that's the character that is the most important. So there may be other characters in the nursery rhyme or the story, but the main character is the most important. So let's go ahead and get started with Hickory Dickory Dock. I want you to listen, and I want you to listen for that word struck. Can everybody say struck? Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Tick tock. So now I am going to sing Hickory Dickory Dock for you. Are you ready? And when I sing a line, I want you to sing it back to me, just like you're an echo. All right, you ready? Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Tick tock. Very good. So when the clock strikes 1, what time do you think it is? If you said 1 o'clock, you're right. The clock strikes 1 time for 1 o'clock. Now, why do you think the mouse ran down the clock? Why do you think he did that? I think he was probably scared, because if you've ever heard a grandfather clock, it makes a loud chiming sound. So he probably was a little bit scared. He didn't like to hear that sound. So as soon as he heard it, he was up there and he ran right back down, okay? So now I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. Sometimes nursery rhymes will use words that are not familiar, like made up words. So I have 2 words here, and it's actually in the title, and it's Hickory Dickory. So I want you to think for a minute about Hickory Dickory, and I want you to think if you know which one of those words is made up. Hickory or dickory? I'm looking at a grandfather clock here on the Google. There's a bunch of grandfather clocks. I think it was dickory. I've never heard the word dickory before. All right, so I'm putting here a grandfather clock chime because I want you to hear it if you've never heard it before. Okay, let's see if we can hear it. Well, let's see. Hear a grandfather clock chime. Oh, okay. This is a Westminster chime, and it chimes 4 notes on the quarter hour. Wow, let's see if we can listen to it. All about clocks. All right, let's see if we click here, we can see one. Whoa, that sounds amazing. Now, in the case of our Hickory Dickory clock, it would just be one sound, like one chime. Hickory Dickory dot, the clock struck 1. That's cool, I love that sound. Let's see, let's go back and see if we can hear another one. Let's see, below you can listen to sounds of our chimes. So I'm not really sure which one of these would exactly sound like the Hickory Dickory dot chime. Okay, here's an hourly. Let's see. It's gonna play for us. Well, our grandfather clock doesn't want to play. There we go. So cool. Wow, guys, that was super duper amazing, wasn't it? I love it. So if you've never heard a grandfather clock chime, now you have. Let me get all this stuff back right here. Okay, that was fun. So that's our Hickory Dickory dock clock. Dock and clock are rhyming words. Oh, look at that mouse. He's gone falling down. His little tail is stuck. Poor mouse. One more thing before we finish with Hickory Dickory Dock. I'm glad we got to hear that chime sound. Let's say Hickory Dickory Dock one more time. And as we say it one more time, I want you to think about what line you keep hearing in Hickory Dickory Dock. Ready? Let's say it. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. So what line was said more than once? That's right, it was Hickory Dickory Dock. Okay, friends, so moving right along, we're going to read another nursery rhyme. And the title of this nursery rhyme is, bye-bye, Mr. Mouse, Diddle Diddle Dumpling. Now, before I was doing these nursery rhymes in this kindergarten class, I had never heard of Diddle Diddle Dumpling before, but it is a nursery rhyme, and we are going to identify the main character in this nursery rhyme. By the way, do you remember what the main character was in Hickory Dickory Dock? We never answered that. It was a mouse. The mouse was the main character. So this is a picture of a boy, and his name is John. Hey, John, how you doing? Now, John in this picture is wearing two things. He's wearing stockings and he's wearing shoes. Does anybody know what the word stockings means? Well, stockings are like a sock or tights that you can put on if girls wear tights. Why is he wearing a shoe to bed? Do any of y'all wear shoes to bed? No, not really. What about socks? Do you wear socks to bed? Some people might wear socks to bed if their feet are cold, right? They might feel the need to wear some socks. I don't really like socks when I go to bed, but that's okay. John did. He liked those socks. So let's look at John again. And John is wearing one shoe. All right, let's listen. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with his stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with one shoe on and one shoe off. How do you think he was feeling? Do you think he was super duper tired? Maybe he was. All right, let's see. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with his stockings on. Can you remember what the word stockings means? Yes, socks. Socks are tights. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John. Now, I'm going to say the first line of diddle, diddle, dumpling, and I will give you a chance to echo. That means that you say what I say. All right, you ready? Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with his stockings on. One shoe on, one shoe off. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John. One shoe on and one shoe off. Does John go to bed with his stockings on or off? That's right, they're on. Silly boy. Now, who is the main character in this nursery rhyme? What's his name? John. And what does John wear to bed? One shoe off and one shoe on. And he's got his stockings. Now, who do you think in the story is telling this story in this nursery rhyme? Do you think it's John telling the story or do you think it's somebody else? Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son, John. Son. To be somebody's son, the person telling this must be a mother or father, mom or dad. My son, John. And we talked about this a few minutes ago. Why do you think that John went to bed with one shoe off and one shoe on? We said maybe he was tired, but do you have any other ideas why he would have done that? I don't know. All right, guys, we are going to read the Diddle Diddle Dumpling again, and we're going to listen for the line that is repeated. So when we did that for Hickory Dickory, it said Hickory Dickory 2 times. So let's see what line is repeated on this one. Okay, you guys ready? Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with his stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John. So what was the line that was heard more than once? That's right, it was diddle, diddle, dumpling. So now I'm going to say it, the first part of it, and I want you to fill in the blank. Diddle, diddle, dumpling. My son, John, went to bed with his stockings on. One shoe on and one shoe off. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son, John. Very good. All right, friends, that's all we have for Diddle, diddle, dumpling and Hickory, Dickory, Dock. Tomorrow we're going to do another nursery rhyme, but until then, I will see you later. Bye-bye.